Welcome to After the Show, your weekly movie podcast brought to you by A. Scully and Sid Talk. We're addicted to movies. Are you? Hello, everybody. Welcome to After the Show. Hello, Sid Talk. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. I just this second needed to clear my throat, but I'm going to hold off.
We're not sick anymore, though.
Because I'm a professional.
True. It has been 2 weeks, so we probably mostly got rid of our sickness. Right?
Down with the sickness.
Down with the sickness.
I mean, the allergy situation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but not this moment, so we're good. We're good. And then nobody cares about this. So the before the after the show discussion was random things.
Yeah.
Other movies that I've got on my list of recommendations I don't remember watching.
Movies that you don't remember watching, but then I will bring up a podcast where you reviewed the whole thing.
Yeah, I literally have no... I looked at the trailer, I'm like, what? But we'll talk about that later. And that's about it for the before the after the show.
All right, so it's Saturday, May the 27th. This is After the Show 789. We look at a movie every week, as we're a movie review podcast. And this week, we're looking at the movie Shazam, Fury of the Gods. It's a 2023 movie. You can get it on disc this upcoming Tuesday. It's already on streaming if you want to watch it straight away. Rated PG-13 from our friends at Warner Brothers who sent us a copy for review. Sid Talk, can you give us the synopsis of the movie Shazam, Fury of the Gods?
I mean, it's another superhero movie.
I thought you were going to say stupid hero movie.
No, I like superhero movies. Why would I say that?
I don't know. That's what it sounded like. Stupid hero.
No, not at all. I'm not sure what you're thinking about, but it's another superhero movie. We're visiting Shazam and his family. And they've got, things about like Greek gods to fight and mysterious magic. There's a dragon made out of wood. The city of Philadelphia is at risk. There are creatures. And let's go back to the part about being superhero movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you certainly don't want to be a bridge in this film.
In any superhero movie.
No.
I'm serious. They have a board where they have like all the things, all the tropes you have to have in a superhero movie. Bridge being destroyed and having to save people.
Yep.
That has to be number one.
If you're in a city that has superheroes, never go across a bridge. That's all.
Yeah, no kidding.
The actual synopsis here is the film continues the story of teenage Billy Batson, who upon reciting the magic word Shazam is transformed into his super adult hero alter ego Shazam. That's a really terrible...
that is terrible. Yeah. That's on the box.
That's the official off-the-box
Oh
tagline.
My word. Well, mine was better and it was not good.
Yeah, DC, you need a new guy writing your things.
Gal.
Yeah.
Somebody.
So
Maybe. That was written by...
Billy Batson?
No.
The pen in the movie?
No. Chat GTP or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, yeah.
There's your F word for the day. Yeah, maybe it's that.
Yeah, maybe.
Sounds like that.
Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Sid Talk, what did you think?
I enjoyed it.
The end?
The end. I mean, I like it. It's dumb. It's about family, which is hilarious because they even reference what you love to say when people say something's about family. You always reference Fast and the Furious, because it's all about family. They actually make that reference, which is really good.
Yes.
So it's more about, their relationships and then trying to save our world from these three sister gods. It's fun. What did you say? You said something like, not that it's simple or anything, but it's just really basic.
Yeah.
And I don't feel the threat to the whole of the world because we're in Philadelphia, literally. Inside the city, they plant a tree that grows and grows monsters like the Cyclops, the Minotaur, that kind of stuff, right?
Yep. The Tree of Life.
Just the city that we see. Nothing else. Not even like the suburbs are in danger. It doesn't feel big enough to me. And so that always kind of is a little bit of a like, wah, wah,
I feel that's like a DC thing because Black Adam, which also had like seemed like it was supposed to be a huge threat. As you was watching that movie, you was like, I don't feel like anybody's in trouble. Here's Black Adam. He kills a bunch of people at the beginning. But then at the end, the rest of it, you're like, I don't know if it's a DC problem, because do you feel like in Marvel movies, there feels like there's a threat?
It depends. Depends on the movie.
Yeah.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Yeah, sometimes it feels...
That is a flaw, to me, of some superhero movies that you got to go... And then, even in this one, I was like, oh my gosh, we have like a wizard, some gods, and a superpowered guy who was a boy, and now he's a man with superpowers. And yet, we're in like a basement of a storage room where they're just banging each other against the walls.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the street of a city that's just, I mean, I get it for scale and to be like, oh, what if you saw this happening in the street of your city? But that makes it feel very small and contained.
I'm not dissing Supergirl, the TV show, but this often felt like that. You
love Supergirl.
I did, but like the kind of low budget nature of Supergirl, where it felt kind of very small, like they were just in one little square fighting.
Oh, I didn't feel that. I just feel like they just don't have a big vision of like a good arena to really battle things out sometimes.
So this is the continuation of the first one. The first movie I liked a lot because it was the big. It was like big
origin story.
Yeah, like a kid gets transformed into a man superhero. Then there was all the like playing with, he's actually a kid inside, but he looks like a man. But in this one, they didn't mess with that a lot.
No.
Because we'd already had all that. So they took it in a different direction. More like, I don't know, where did the humor come from in this one? It was more like one-liners and stuff.
Yeah.
They make fun of Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, there's lots of cultural, pop culture references.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fun.
Game of Thrones is mentioned.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
Because at some point, we have Lucy Liu as a daughter of Atlas, a goddess, who's hell-bent on destroying everybody and humans and all that, and she's riding on a dragon made of wood, and he says, "Hey, Khaleesi," and he crashes into her. Yeah. I like that. It's funny.
I did like those things. I also like the Taste the Rainbow Mother Effer.
Yes.
That was really funny.
I mean, it's a bit tacky, but I liked it.
Yeah, there's just funny, like, messing about with things that we already know and just making it funny. The threat in general, it felt like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, because so the premise is that in the original movie, in Shazam, takes the staff, which I'd forgotten really the whole premise of the other movie, takes this staff of life, I guess, magic, whatever, breaks it in half, throws it on the ground. Therefore, the magic isn't in it any longer. Well, now we fast forward 2 little baby years, or I guess that's how long it's been. And someone, of course, found the 2 pieces of the staff in a trash bin somewhere, and now it's in a museum, and these ladies show up. And the idea is like when he broke, so you have to go back somewhere in time. Some wizards and some humans sealed off the world of magic, which is like where all the gods lived, to keep them away from Earth and humanity, right? The staff was part of keeping that realm separate, like the key to the thing or whatever.
Yeah.
When he broke it, and this is explained in one sentence, just so you know, everything I'm saying. When he broke it, he broke the protection or the barrier between us and the realm of these gods. Now these ladies are pissed off because their father was apparently murdered back in the day or killed or whatever by the original battles and all that shit that was going on thousands of years ago. And then humans came along taking the magic, particularly like someone like Shazam, who's like a kid, and then his brothers and sisters are kids. And these sisters are very pissed off. And I love the way she explains it. She said, so if somebody came to your house, stole your money, ran down the street, dropped your money, and your neighbor picked up your money, and now they're spending your money.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's what's happened to our magic. It was stolen from us, and then some little creatures, because they hate humans, they hate humanity, have picked up Shazam. I would not Wonder Woman, because she's half goddess, for real. So she hasn't stolen their power. She got it with DNA, I guess, because her dad was it Zeus? I don't remember.
Zeus.
Right. And she does make an appearance. But so that's the whole premise here, is that the line has been broken between but the only thing that happens is these 3 women show up.
Yep.
And that's it. And then they're like, all gods are gone. All the gods are gone. Well, Wonder Woman isn't gone. And the wizard can have the powers. And Shazam has the powers. And the powers are in the staff. Because, of course, we fixed the staff. And then the powers are back. It's all very muddy. It's like, what? Make up your minds right there. It's like the Jedi. Oh, Order 66 destroyed all the Jedi. But it didn't.
No, it did not.
The more stories you want to write, the more ways you can squeeze like a tube of toothpaste out and eke out just those last few Jedi that are somewhere in the galaxy.
One Star Wars story will be like, hey, here's a planet with 10,000 Jedi on it. Let's rescue them all. And then you can just reset all that.
Right.
So that's how this kind of feels, kind of like, it doesn't feel consequential either, does it?
Correct.
I felt Black Adam was the same kind of problem with the DC movie.
Yeah, like a thing happens, everybody gets saved.
There's a big battle.
And there's nothing left.
Yeah.
Of it.
And then you have to rebuild at the end or something.
I will give Marvel some credit in the whoever decided on the big long story, whoever originally wrote it, but Thanos' story being trickled across all the different superheroes and different places and different times to equal one big goal, right?
Yeah, it was very
that
good.
Feels like a threat, and then it actually turns out to be, spoiler alert, he actually does it. So appreciate that, because that feels like a threat to everything and everyone.
Yeah, these don't. They just feel like little mini adventures. Again, referring to Supergirl. Each week, everything's in peril, but we know by the end of the episode it won't be, right?
Right, and also her cousin is Superman, and he's just a city across. Wonder Woman shows up in this movie like 5 minutes from the end to like touch the staff and give it its magical powers again. And you're like, where were you 5 minutes ago?
She didn't get the call.
I mean, holy crap. Yeah, but they're superheroes, right? They're supposed to know shit. They're supposed to know that these 3 goddesses from the other realm have appeared. There has to be some way of knowing that, right? In your little superhero brain.
I'll tell you how you know it, because I know it from watching the movie. It was on the news reports all the time.
Oh, true. So Wonder Woman doesn't watch CNN.
She just doesn't watch the news. It's too modern for her. Yeah, but it is weird, isn't it? How you have a load of superheroes everywhere. Batman's over there as well. Nobody else.
I guess if you claim that one superhero is more powerful than the other, like Ms. Marvel, and she could literally come and save everyone every time, then what's the point of anyone else?
Yeah. Like every movie would be her showing up and that's it.
Yes.
Yeah. You've got to have a clumsy way of they don't even explain why nobody else comes to help them here.
Mm-mm.
They just have to deal with it themselves as though they're just family and that's it.
Family.
The tagline for this movie is, "Oh my gods." I like it.
Really?
Yeah. I kind of like it because it's
like OMG.
Yeah.
I got it.
Exactly.
Got it.
Moving on to the cast here for Shazam: Fury of the Gods. I put down Zachary Levi reprises his Shazam. I think he's really good as Shazam.
He's fun. Yes.
Surprisingly, I said in the first movie, the foster care thing, it kind of touches me a little bit because I was a foster kid.
Yeah.
You know? And nothing ever covers being a foster kid, I don't think, superhero-wise. And I guess superhero things cover everything if you watch all of it. Eventually, it will have covered your thing, right?
Right.
Whatever you are or wherever you came from. I was kind of emotional with Zachary a couple of times with his little family. Where he delivered the speech about not having anybody.
Right.
I thought that was really nice. Just me then.
Well, I don't have that experience, so right. I can't imagine, because I was raised surrounded by family, but not that kind of family. Like, we're not like that.
You mean you lived with Vin Diesel?
Let me think about that. Not exactly, no. So I can't identify with that, but I've known you long enough to know that it's, and they address it. Again, it's very brief. They have him sort of talking about it, and then this pediatrician says to him, like, okay, all that trauma about being abandoned is why he's now... See, what's happened is Billy / Shazam has become very obsessed with micromanaging and overprotecting all of his siblings. Now, again, we don't get a lot of examples. We just get the one kid who says he wants to watch everything we do, and he always wants to have meetings with everyone to keep everyone, keep track of everyone all the time. So he's basically clinging to everyone really hardcore. And this is all because of childhood trauma of being abandoned. And so we address that very briefly, but it's enough to have an impact. And you think about it, like, oh, okay. So everybody's got a story. Exactly. So how does Superman, right?
Uh-huh.
The Superman, not all the fake Supermans, cope with, like, what's the emotional baggage of your parents putting you in a spaceship?
Yeah.
Shooting you out into space as your planet is destroyed.
I mean, that's
not really destroyed. I mean, if you watch enough of the Superman world, you know that too. But right, so we never address his emotional needs.
Maybe we will. He was
found
in
in a field.
Movie.
Yeah, maybe.
So Jack Dylan Grazer plays Freddie Freeman. He's the young version of what's the superhero called?
Mr. Everything.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
What do you think of this guy?
He was good.
I mean, because the young version of him gets to do a lot more, doesn't he, in this movie? Which I really liked. This movie, there was everything I thought was going to happen. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's supposed to be a reveal on top of that roof. You would be stupid if you hadn't already figured that out.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Kind of went like that all the way through. It didn't ruin it for me, but it was just... That makes it super predictable because you're like, I think this is what's going to happen.
You're like, was I not supposed to know that already?
Right.
Because she was asking so many questions.
I mean, it was so clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got Lucy Liu as Calypso. I really like Lucy Liu, and I think she was good here.
Or Khaleesi.
Yeah. Khaleesi, Calypso, same thing. She gets to ride a dragon. She's really badass. She's actually quite ruthless and...
Yes, she hates humans.
The bad one out of the bunch. The really bad one out of the bunch. They're all pretty bad, but... Digimon Hanzu plays the wizard. He was in the first one, remember? He's the one who gave him the powers, but how do you like him here?
I always like him. I mean, he seems like he's really just into whatever he's doing, like with a good, fun attitude.
Yeah, he's in Marvel and DC, isn't he? He kind of jumps around.
What is he in Marvel?
He's something in Marvel. I've seen him in Marvel.
He's something.
I'm not sure which one he was in or whatever, but...
Is that the new... thing in Hollywood when you come to town is that you want to get into Star Wars, Marvel, DC, or what's the other one?
Fast and the Furious.
No. I mean, no, just like the big Star Trek, maybe.
Yeah. Well, Fast and the Furious is definitely in with those of like, if you want to make a load of money. It's a giant franchise that just
I don't know if
going.
you make a lot of money if you're nobody. You might just get a spot you don't get a cut of the pie. No. When you're like an extra. But
unless you get buddy up family-wise.
You don't.
With Mr. Diesel.
You really don't.
We've got Helen Mirren, talking of Fast and the Furious, as Hespera. What do you think of her?
I mean, she's Helen Mirren. She's always kind of same. I like her. She sticks to her thing, but...
Did she have a Facebook filter on her face to make her look a bit younger?
Only at times, I think.
Yeah. It kind of looked a bit... I was like, something going on there.
Hold on. You're not very good at social media. I don't know about a Facebook filter.
Well,
I know about Instagram. I don't even know about an Instagram filter, but Snapchat.
TikTok.
Maybe TikTok. I don't know. I don't use it much.
Something.
Definitely Snapchat has cool filters because my friends and I...
Snapchat's for the elderly.
We'll send a thing to our group chat. It's just like, today is a filter kind of a day. And then we all use like really... crazy filters to, smooth out our wrinkles and I had one with lipstick on it the other day and I don't wear lipstick and my friend's like, oh my God, that looks so good on you. But I'm like, only in the digital world will that ever happen.
Rachel Ziegler plays Anthea. She's the third of the gods. What do you think of this lady?
She's good. I mean, she's playing like the innocent teenage girl, but she's actually the daughter of Atlas, who is she's here for revenge and to kill everybody.
And then,
but she's the weak link. The villains always have a weak link.
They do, always.
If any one of the villain superheroes ever have either fall in love with or have compassion for the humans, the villains are screwed.
That's it.
That's it.
Over.
It's all over.
And everybody you loved from the first one returns. The whole Foster family, the whole Shazam family. They all return. So you'll see the kid versions and the adult versions.
And they're all good. They're all fine and fun and... they seem to have a good attitude. I don't know. I'm not on the set when they're doing it, but I think they're just all into it and they know what it is and it's fun.
And we made fun out of the bridge scene, but I thought the bridge scene was effective at seeing them all in action, because you hadn't really seen them in action as a family, because that only happened at the end of the first movie, where they all became superheroes.
Yeah, but the thing is, the CGI doesn't always look great. So
I agree in this movie. Sometimes it looks awesome, to be fair. The dragon and the tree and everything looked awesome.
Yeah.
But then occasionally, like, just them flying about, I'm like, oh, it looks like they're wearing a harness, and it's weird looking.
Yeah, and you kind of squint every once in a while. Like, okay, I can forgive it. I can forgive it.
Yeah, there's a couple of shots of, like, Shazam, like, flying and you see him from a distance, and it's clear that it's just, like, a computer model.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't you just put the man in the suit and just, like, film him?
Or also just touch it up so it doesn't look like...
It just looks shitty, like a rubber doll.
You can make that dragon... You can make it look like a person flying through the air. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And this movie, you know, it gets crazy. Dragons, monsters, the city, like when the tree like goes out and all the roots go everywhere. It's crazy. And all that stuff looks good, I think.
Yeah, monsters look really good close up. Now their movements occasionally, that's where you get that weirdness.
But like the things that let it down are just like basic things like Shazam flying through the air, which should be the easy part, right?
True.
So I don't get that. Directed by David F. Sandberg, he's the director of Lights Out and Annabelle Creation. Hence why Annabelle appears in this movie.
Yeah, one scene, you're sitting there and you're like, oh, there was Annabelle sitting at that table in the pediatrician's office. I'm like, I didn't see her. And then you're like, why would Annabelle, a possessed doll, be in a pediatrician's office? And then we find out because the director.
And I didn't even know that until... The female Shazam, the girl with the black hair, long black hair, she's one of the stars of Annabelle Creation. One of the babysitter girls.
You're right.
So that's the tie to this director. So what do you think of this director, David F. Sandberg, as this movie? He's normally a horror guy.
I feel like he gets what he wants out of everyone. And it's got kind of a cozy feel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the scenes like where the kids are all in their lair. They're not kids, they're in their superhero outfits. So their lair is all like decorated up with Christmas lights and video games and stuff. And then you've got like you said, the older girl is studying and the other people are all doing their thing. It's very cozy, and he takes his time with like getting to kind of know each person and what they're doing. I mean, you don't get a lot out of them if you think about it, but just enough.
Yeah.
I like that. I feel like that's important to him somehow. But on the bigger scale, yeah, some of those quality checks I would like to see a little more stringent. But hey.
Yeah. The foster home got trashed at one point, and then at the end it was fine. They fixed it.
Because he said to the wizard, can you fix our house?
Yeah.
So he probably did something.
I would have liked to see that. You know, that would have been
it was under construction, so it wasn't like magically fixed.
True.
I mean, magic. Get it?
There was a little sign on the wall in the foster house, no Shazamming in the house. There are extras on the disc, if you're going to get this disc. The 4K disc, it looks cool, it sounds cool. What are IMDb reviews?
Those are reviews on a website called internetmoviedatabase.com, or IMDb for short. And you like to go through and find 1-star reviews of the movies we've just seen and then read them aloud. And mostly we're fishing for the favorites. There are classics like...
Wasted My Time.
Worst movie ever made. Why did this movie get made? Don't watch this movie. I love it when people just definitively tell you how to live your life.
Something that's really nonsensical. You don't know what the hell they're on about.
Yeah, there's somewhere sentences don't seem to matter.
Yeah.
But they've taken the time of their life to either tell the chatbot to tell you what they think, or this is another new classic. I'm in the theater now, and this movie is so terrible, I had to say blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly. So the first guy here says, it's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, the worst movie ever.
Terrible in every sense. Acting is pathetic. Also, stop making movies 1,000 hours long and packing in crap on crap, because it doesn't help and it makes it worse.
1,000 hours? I think we saw a very edited version.
It was 2 hours and 10 minutes, and it didn't feel long.
No.
Felt just right, actually.
Idiot.
Second guy says, I'm really, really disappointed. For 2 hours, I didn't find a laugh or a scene where my breath will stop. There is no action, boring CGI. It's a waste, and he spells waste, W-A-I-S-T,
okay,
of time.
Of course, waste of time. Everyone loves that one.
Third one says, classic DC garbage. I went to see this movie with my girl. Are you from the 1950s? This movie totally ruined the night for me and my girl. He really wants you to know he went with his girl, doesn't he?
Yeah, really.
Horrible movie. Total waste of our time. Don't watch it. You're better off watching anything else. The jokes are so bad. Disgusting at times. We cringed. I did not anticipate that this movie could get any worse, but it did. That's it.
Well, now that's like a cliffhanger,
Yeah.
but it got worse. How? Now I need to know.
Exactly. So those are the IMDb reviews. Let's give this movie, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, a score. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
I think 7 is fair.
Because it was very much fun. I had fun.
You sound like one of the reviews. It was very much fun.
It was very much fun. I had fun, and I was not wasted my time. That's my IMDb review.
And yeah, we're making fun of people. You know why? Because some people are fucking idiots. So there it is. I am not of the modern age where everyone's opinion
Rude.
is like cherished and precious. You know what? That includes me. Because an opinion sometimes is based on nothing except for brainwashing and bullshit and blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, some of those I'd be happy to make. I would just say this. If that person came in here right now who wrote that, I'd be like, what is wrong with you? How did you write that? So if you're out there listening and that was your review, I'm saying it to you. Just look me up.
Yeah. And shut up.
No, don't. I want to hear it.
Oh,
Don't get me wrong. I want to hear every single review and every single opinion. But I'm also then going to say, wow, you're so full of shit. So,
All right. Thank you to Warner and DC. Next week, we're going to be looking at the movie Dungeons and Dragons, another dragon, Honor Among Thieves. So we'll take a look at that next week. It stars Captain Kirk, Chris Pine. So
that is not Captain
That's not
Kirk.
your Captain Kirk.
It is
but
not Captain
he's
Kirk.
A Captain Kirk.
A Captain Kirk is fine. Now, I'm not a big fan of William Shatner, but he is Captain Kirk.
All right.
Everyone else is a sad imitation.
Movie recommendations this week. I am going off two things. The guy in this movie is from Dusk Till Dawn. I said to you, I don't think he ever ages. He just looks exactly the same. So I'm going to recommend you Dusk Till Dawn TV show and movie. I like both of them. And Lucy Liu, I'm going to recommend Kill Bill.
Right on.
Which she is awesome and a badass in that movie.
Is it just me, or does the guy from Dusk Till Dawn, because his part in Dusk Till Dawn was pretty powerful and like, you know, a lot. And this is like, I'm sorry, dude, but it's kind of nothing.
He also disappears from this movie.
It could
for a
be
while.
anybody.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
They're not, and that's just not just him. That goes for all the people who kind of, you know, we get to know their character more than the person playing the character. It's very weird. But so my recommendations are, and we're going to explain to you that for 2023, I'm doing all science fiction just from this millennium. So since the year 2000, because that's what we're in. New century, new millennium. I'm all the way up to 2013. Again, all science fiction. Blutgleiter. I don't know how to say it exactly, but it's actually Blood Glacier.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah. So it is it's either Swedish or Norwegian. I forget. But it's like the ice caps are melting and then all these weird things, viruses and whatnot are melting from the ice glaciers. And then it's getting into creatures and animals. It's like a horror movie.
Awesome.
That's 2013. We also have Dark Skies, which is one of the movies I had to look up earlier to see if I saw it for real, if I remembered it.
Episode 277 of After the Show is your review.
And I don't still remember watching it. So there's that. But, I mean, I like the people in it, and it looks compelling. You know, it's got a little bit of Amityville horror going on, except aliens. Then we have Elysium, which I also had to look up just to confirm.
Matt Damon.
Yes. And I do remember it was good, but I think we had like that thing of like, you know, it had so much potential. But
Yeah.
And then we have Europa Report, which, again, I watched the trailer, and I kind of remember spottily having seen it. I think if something doesn't have a big impact on me, I just sort of let it go in eyeballs and out all the other orifices.
Nice.
And then we have Gravity, which of course I remember. And I remember thinking, why is everyone in love with this movie? It's fine. And I barely remember bits and pieces of it.
It had a lot of spinning camera. Maybe you didn't like that.
I don't like spinning camera. It was Sandra Bullock, right? This is Gravity. That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about. Where she's alone in space with
George Clooney.
Alone / not alone.
That's the one.
And it just seemed like just like Interstellar. I'm not 100% sure why people were so in love with those movies, but hey, I've seen it. It was fine. Watch it.
I won't have you say anything bad about Interstellar. I really liked it. Apart from the ending, which is really dopey. But I like the rest of it. A Scully stuff. I've been playing some more older games. I've been playing some old racing games this week. One is called Cruising USA and one is called Daytona USA. Cruising USA is a old Super Nintendo game. And when it came out back in the 80s, I remember my ultimate game, something in my mind, if I could make my own game, would be that I could travel across the whole of America, like in real time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I always wanted a game like that. And that's why I like playing something like Truck Sim now.
You do love it.
Yeah, because it feels like you're really going from one place to another, and it's realistic. And that's the ultimate for me, Truck Sim.
Also, don't forget, you don't just like driving around. You also like just walking around.
Yeah.
Like in that movie with Daryl from The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Death Stranding.
Yeah, just walking around.
Just exploring like a landscape.
And in GTA, the newest GTAs, you'll do that for a whole session. Not even doing anything like a heist or anything. You just follow people around in the city. You drive all over the place.
Yep.
So you must have a wanderlust that you've never satisfied.
I just want to get like the vibe of like a world, and it's very cool in like video games. So Cruising USA is like an old arcade game, but they brought it to the Nintendo 64, and that's the version I was playing. And you basically, each race is from one place to another in America. You end up going all the way across America, and it's really fun. It's got really like arcadey controls, I would say. A lot of these old games are designed just so you keep putting money in them. So they kind of either difficult or you only get you put a coin in and you get 2 minutes of play.
Mm.
So what's cool about playing them on emulators now is you've got unlimited quarters, haven't you? You just keep pressing you just keep putting the money in. I mean, it even has, all the emulators have a coin insert button. So it's kind of fun just pressing that and hearing the money go in, like ding, 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 ding. Cruising USA, Nintendo 64. And the other one is Daytona USA, which is a Sega racing game from the arcade, which was also ported to the Sega Saturn and then to the Sega Dreamcast. And I was playing the Sega Dreamcast version. And that's exactly what it says it is. It's NASCAR. But it's a fun arcade version of NASCAR with a very silly song that goes over the top where they sing Daytona USA in this very weird... It's like somebody didn't quite understand the translation between Japanese and American when they made the song. So it comes across really weird and hokey. But it makes that Daytona USA, it sticks out in my mind because of that song. So I've been playing that a lot. Sid Talk, what's for dinner?
Tonight we're going to have Larry David pasta, which isn't actually Larry David pasta.
Pasta with Larry David on the bag.
You and I both know it's not really Larry David, but from the time I've ever first bought that pasta, you're like, that's Larry David on the package. So if you see pasta in the refrigerated section at the store, aging gentleman with slightly balding on top and gray frizzy hair, that's the Larry David pasta. I don't even know the name of it, but that's what we're having.
It's like, no, I don't know the name of it. It's an Italian name.
Yeah.
But it's Larry David. It's Italian Larry David, let's say. So, Sid Talk, give us your advice and then we'll leave.
Okay, it's not advice, of course, because, it's not always advice. Sometimes it's just me thinking about things. And so this week out in the driveway, we have a very big driveway, and I like to do some gardening, as you know.
I do know that.
My gardening addiction is growing year by year. So I feel like I'm at capacity, but then I feel like that every year. And then I add something this week, maybe somewhat to your surprise. I started building a pergola myself, like out of 7-foot pieces of wood, 2x4s, building it just in the driveway myself with my little screwdriver and my drill, putting it together. And my approach to these projects, so imagine it's 7 feet high. It's going to be like a 7-foot square with multiple boards. my approach, the foundation of my projects, anytime I do anything is, I'm going to do this by myself. I'm going to do this alone. Like, I should be able to do things alone, right? So what if I'm alone? What if I'm abandoned on an island, or everyone in humanity dies of a zombie apocalypse and then all the zombies magically die, and then it's just me. And I've got all the resources at my disposal, except it's just me. I'm going to have to build this pergola alone. I have to do it. So I get started. I build the sides, and then I realize there's no way.
No.
I mean, given enough time and more resources, I would have figured out like a hoist and got my car out there and lived. I don't even know. I don't even know how I was going to do it.
That sounds terribly dangerous.
But if I was alone, if I was the last woman on Earth, right, I'd figure it out.
You wouldn't need a pergola, probably. You'd have more worries than that.
True.
Yeah.
But in this situation, so I'm realizing, and you're out there mowing the yard and doing stuff, checking your mole traps. And you're like, do you want me to help you with that? And my first thing is, no, I don't want you to help me with this. I don't want you to help me because I don't want help. It is a cornerstone of my personality. People can scoff and roll their eyes and go, oh, when people like me say, I am a loner, because I can function with people. Clearly, I've been married for 23 years. I have some best friends who are woven into the fabric of who I am. I have sisters and a brother and a mother. I've had family, people who I know and care about me. I get it. I can be sociable and belong with my little group. I care about humanity as a whole. However, honestly, and without anybody like patting me on my little head and going, oh, well, we'll just have to get you over that, won't we? I like doing things alone. I like being alone. I like thinking on my own. I like physically. If you snapped your fingers right now and everyone disappeared, I would be sad and I would cry for a while. But then it would sink in. Wow, I'm finally by myself.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not, but that's really who I am. So when you ask me, do I want help? I don't want it, but I understand that at that point I have to accept that I'm going to need some physical help. And then you assisted me and it solved the problem of getting it erected. You were able to get up on the ladder better than me to screw in the top parts. Again, I could have done it. I was willing to back my car up there with the ladder in the trunk. I'm not even kidding. Or call my sister, who of course would mean help. So I'm like, no, how can I do this myself?
I'm
right?
literally like 8 feet away from you.
I know.
And you won't ask me.
And you're my husband and you love me and you love helping. You love projects. So what I'm thinking of, okay, it's a puzzle we're needing to solve. And in this situation, we just need to solve it together. And you were 50% of getting this fixed, right? I mean, also remember, I didn't have any plans. It wasn't engineered by anything other than one piece at a time in my mind, and having looked at many pictures of simple pergolas. So I just I didn't have any measurements or anything, which is another thing.
I think it's fine though.
I think it's wonderful.
Yes.
But the thing is, the foundation of me, everything I do starts with, I'm going to do this alone. I don't instantly think about help or instantly think I can't manage this or I can't do this. I instantly think, of course I can do this. And then I go from there. Now, I'm never disappointed when I can't, because obviously it's inspiring that you came up with a couple of the best ideas on how to get the top parts on and everything that hadn't occurred to me, right? So I understand collaboration,
True.
Right? But again, if I was the last woman on this planet and I needed to build that pergola, I'd get that fucking thing built. It would have happened. So I appreciate your assistance, but I want people who are like me to know there's nothing wrong with starting from there, and then do accept as needed. Here's what's really funny about being like me. When you say to people, no thanks, I don't need help, a lot of people get mad at you, like angry. I actually get strangers having a visceral, angry, aggressive response, like, oh, fine.
Yeah.
Or, well, see if I help you, if you need help in the future or whatever, like that. Like, maybe not a stranger would say that, but I've had people say similar things. Well, don't ask me if you need help later. Okay. Like, how are you supposed to respond to that? Do you think you're so important? I don't know. I'm not into that. So the pergola is built. It needs to be painted, and I'm going to draw some like tattoo designs on it. I think that'd be cool. The purpose for it is to have some shade cloth to protect my ever-growing driveway garden of containers. Right now, there's like 40 kinds of tomatoes and 30 kinds of peppers. Not that any of you care, but that's it.
All right. ascully.com, that's where you can go to get this podcast. You probably already know that, though, because you're listening to this podcast, right? You can go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. That's our social media. I'm A Scully. She's Sid Talk. We're on all of those. We're also on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, and YouTube in the podcast section. You can email feedback to me, ascully@ascully.com. Do not email Sid Talk. She doesn't want any email from you. And stay classy, DC, they've got a new guy in charge of DC now, James Gunn. So let's see what he can do with the DC universe.
Yeah, let's. And I'm going to say, think for yourself, because if you don't do it, someone's doing it for you.